Okay, so now let's go to the sinking fund, which is administered by the trustee. So take note, we have two types of sinking fund. The first one is yung company mismo ang gumawa ng sinking fund, nag-restrict no, ng general cash to the sinking fund cash. The second one is there is a third party and you put it to the third party or the administered ng trustee. Okay? So there is one account title which we will use here, the sinking fund trustee. Wala kay siya details on the composing of fund. Okay? So here, the recording of transaction of the fund can only be made when the company receives the report from the trustee. Kasi you just invest no, your cash to the sinking fund trustee. No? Si third party na ang mag-manage, either siya ang mag-invest it into security or whatsoever. So, wala tayo recording of transaction kung walang report coming from the trustee. So, kung merong report from the trustee, that's the time we can already record, no? So, ano ba yung mga reports? No, such reports include the purchase, the sale of securities, earnings, and expenses of the fund. So, yung mga report ng third party. Okay? So, um, establishing the fund no, by transferring the cash no, from your general cash account to an account debited as sinking fund trustee, kailangan talaga siya. Kasi this is our entry, no? Meaning you invest a sinking fund, you put it in the trustee. So sinking fund trustee, debit, credit, cash. And this sinking fund trustee is classified as non-current asset. Kasi binigay mo kasi sa trustee. No? Parang gi-invest mo yun doon sa trustee. So sinking fund trustee and credit cash. And then, you can only record transaction if there are reports from the trustee. So from the trustee report, the following are analyzed all together to prepare one compound entry regarding the effect of the report of the sinking fund trustee. So when the trustee reports about the fund expenses out of the fund, so you have sinking fund expense and credit sinking fund trustee. Okay? And then if there is income, of course, nag-increase ang ating sinking fund trustee and credit sinking fund income. Ano, no? If there is gain or loss of sale of securities, so sinking fund trustee, sa gain ka lang mo tanaw, no? And then, credit gain on sale of securities. Okay? Again, these entries are not individually recorded. Pwede ito i-compound lahat. Kasi isang report lang man, no? Because the analysis of the trustee report is done periodically and hence from that report, compound entry to take into the effect of the transaction on the sinking fund on the hands of the trustee. So, pwede mo yan i-compound entry. When the trustee reports that the fund has been used to pay off the liability, kasi ang nag-set up ka ng sinking fund for payment of liability for your bonds, no? So, i-close mo yung bonds payable mo on your general ledger and of course your sinking fund trustee, no? Kung how much yung binayad mo. Since the sinking fund has been used already to pay off the liability, no, and that's the intention of the sinking fund. Therefore, the entity will now receive the remittance from the trustee, of course, no, from the remaining balance of the sinking fund. Okay? And you need to reclassify to the general cash account, which is unrestricted. Kasi natapos na yung purpose ng sinking fund mo. So, ang sobra ng cash, sobra doon, ibigay ng trustee sa iyo. So, of course, i-reclassify mo ulit, no? Yung sinking fund trustee to your general cash. So, let's look on the transactions. So, first is, nag-contribute ng 4 million to the sinking fund under a trustee. So, sinking fund trustee. So, this is a non-current asset, debit, and credit cash of 4 million. Okay? So, trustee reports contain the following. No entry is necessary na. Ang mag-entry ini sa trustee na ning assign. And then, there is a periodic report nga nabenta yung securities were sold for 2,600,000. There is also interest received on the money market placement. So ito yung report. Merong take note na kay cash 1 million, 4 million yung binigay mo sa trustee, ang report ng trustee, ang cash na lang nahibilin 1 million kasi gi-invest ang 2 million sa securities, ang isa ka 1 million gi-invest sa money market. So ito yung report ng trustee. 1 million cash, money market, 1 million, nabenta yung security, no? 2 million na ay nabenta ng 2.6, merong pang interest from the money market. So, sale of security, na interest, ngunit ang report sa trustee ha. So, we have 2.7, total 4,700,000. Merong expenses, 140. So, ang balance ng sinking fund mo is 4,560,000. So, your entry, okay, sale of security na ay gain, na ay interest, sinking fund income, na ay expenses, sinking fund expenses, ang ating sinking fund trustee na increase ng 560 kasi 4 million yun sa atin. So, increase ng 560. Okay? Ano lang siya. So, sinking fund trustee, 560. Compound entry na lang niya kasi based on the report of the trustee. Sinking fund expense, 140. Okay? Meron tayong interest income, which is sinking fund income, 100. And meron pa tayong gain on sale of securities, which is 600,000. Next. Tingnan natin. When a trustee pays a company's bond liability of 4 million, 4 million. I-close natin si 4 million. Nag-report na siya, no? And then, na-I interest expense, 400. Okay, ana. And then, credit, sinking fund trustee, 4 million, 400. Simple as that. Next. Kasi natapos na yung purpose ng sinking fund natin. Nabayad na yung payable. So, ilan na lang nahibilin sa ating, di ba, ang ating sinking fund balance is 4,560,000. Ang ating nabayaran na liability is 4,400,000. So, meaning na ay cash na, ilan man? 4,560,000 minus 4,400,000. Na ay cash na ibalik sa TUA from the trustee na 160,000. Then, credit sinking fund trustee to transfer back the fund to the general cash. Okay, so I hope klaro na ha. So the gain on the sale of security is the difference in the selling price to 6. The cost of security 2 million kaya 600. Self-explanatory na yung mga sinking fund income, katong interest income. And of course the expenses, no? The sinking fund expenses. So self-explanatory na siya. Cash remittance, yung sobra, binalik sa atin. Kasi natapos na yung purpose ng bond natin. Okay? So, yun. So, you need to answer exercise 1 and 2, yung analyze portion ninyo. Now, let's go to sinking fund contribution. So, I hope klaro na to ha. Yung sinking fund under the administration of the company and the sinking fund under the administration of the trustee. Okay? So, sinking fund contribution, computation requires your previous knowledge on the time value of money. Okay, yung time value of money, the future value. So, annuity, future value, So, kailangan alam mo yun, no? How to compute it. So, the amount of contribution to the fund can be voluntary or mandatory. So, yung contribution natin kasi pwede siya at the end of the year or in advance. Okay? So, ayan. If you want to review your prior knowledge, you go to this link. Okay? Kasi meron tayong annual contribution at the end of each year. Kung annual gani na, meaning you are using annuity. No? Kung end of the year, you are using future value annuity of 1. If it's beginning, you use itong annuity due. Kasi beginning of the year. Advance kasi. Okay? Ayan. And then, if there is also one-time contribution, of course, compounding, no? So, recall natin, ha? Meron tayong formula. Yung formula natin, future value annuity of 1, usually at the end of the year ito. Yung to get the the future value factor of annuity of 1, usually 1 plus the rate, tingnan natin, 1 plus the rate, raised to the period, the end period, and after siya, you minus 1, and then you divide it with the rate. Tama ba? You divide it with the rate. So, let's look. Example number 1. To accumulate 2 million at the end of the year. So, ito yung future value na matanggap natin at the end of year 4. What is the annual contribution at end of each year? It is at the rate 12% compounded annually. Annual contribution man. So, get first the future value factor, annuity of 1. So, tingnan natin if we will get 4.7793. Okay, 4.7793. Okay. 1.12. Okay. Raised to 4 years minus 1 divided by 0.12. Ayan, nakuha natin 4.793. We use this one. Kasi at the end of the year. Pero usually given na yung factor. Pero kung hindi given ang factor, kailangan mo yung ito. Okay. So, 4.793. So, take note, kailangan natin mag-accumulate ng 2 million at the year 4. And then, ang question is, how much is the contribution for each year? So, 2 million divided by 4.793. So, remember yung formula natin before, future value is equal to the present value times itong future value factor. Itong sa taas, no? So, to get this one, yung PV, kasi yung question dito is the contribution. So, to get the PV is equal to the 2 million divide the future value factor. Ang katong annuity of 1. So, kaya gi-divide siya. So, ayan. So, 418,471. So, that's your contribution at the end of the year. So, 1231, 1231. For 4 years ito. No? So, first, you have the fund balance. Usually, you invest it, no, into securities kasi you want to achieve 2 million at the end of year 4. So, siguro, you want to pay your bonds payable at the end of year 4. And you want to know how much is your contribution annually. And you will contribute it at the end of the year. Then, provided na 12% ang interest. So, no? Mag-invest ka sa mga securities. So, first, 418. So, in the first year, walang interest kasi end the year man. The second year, meron ng interest. Nag-interest na yung 418,471. So, 418,471 times 0.12. So, we have 50,217. And then, you contribute another one. So, i-add mo yan plus 418,471. Of course, i-add mo yung balance mo. 4 plus 418 kaning balance. So, nagiging 887,159. So, ito naman ulit. In the year 3, mag-interest yan. Okay? Then, nag-contribute ka. Add mo yan. Of course, i-add mo ito. 1412. Ito ulit, mag-interest in the year 4. Okay? Naka-achieve ka na ng 2 million. Okay? So, this is at the end of the year. Another example. If the annual contribution is made at the beginning of the year. So, kung beginning of the year, no? Beginning of the year, 1-1. January 1. So, pagka December or nag-interest na siya. So, tanawan, nag-interest siya. No? Ini, tulura ang interest, no? But this one, in year 1, mag-interest yan. Kasi beginning of the year man gibutang. So, then year 2, mag-interest, then year 3, year 4. Pero here, year 1, walang interest kasi at the end of the year man. Okay. Kini beginning na siya interest. So first, this is katong annuity due. Remember, asa na ang yung subject finance, no? Kung annuity due, ito, FV annuity due 1, your factor would be the same gihapon ni siya, pero mag-multiply ka again ng 1 plus R. Mag-multiply ka ng 1 plus R. So, let's look. 12%, no? Dapat mag-arrive tayo ng 53528. Okay? So, nakuha na natin yung future value factor katong 4.7793, no? So, balikan na to ha. 1.12 raised to 4 years minus 1 divided by 0.12. 4.7993. Pero nagkuan man at beginning of the year times 1.12. So, arrive tayo ng 5.3528. So, ayan. And then, i-divide natin yung 2 million. 2 million divided by the factor. So, kaya yung contribution natin ito. No? So, comparing the two, mas konti lang yung contribution natin. Basta beginning of the year ka magkuan diri, dako-dako ang atong contribution. Okay? So, ayan. What if one-time contribution? Kung one-time contribution lang, 1 million, medyo heavy ang imong investment, 1 million to 71. So, depending on the company, no? Kung they want to one-time, bulto, or contribution annually, beginning at the end of the year. Okay? So, you need to answer your other exercises. So, that's all. So, next ulit sa ating recorded.